chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai śrī-gurave namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Mahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitangscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami iti namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Welcome everyone to Saturday Sanga, speaking from Łubno in Poland, Sadhu-bhavan, central Poland, in the Wild East or the Wild West, depending from which side you look. It is March 20th and we are 8 days away from Sri Gaur Purnima, festival of the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which in India is also time of the celebration of Holi. And it's a time of, a lot of happiness and a lot of colors. And it is springtime. Here it is, there's some saying about the month of March. It's a confused time in terms of weather. We had some, I would say, very extra auspicious weather. Was it yesterday or day before? There was simultaneous sun and snow at the same time. I think because in Shastra it says raining during sun, simultaneous rain and sun, is divya snan. If you go out in that, It's most transcendental. So snow and sun, I think, must also be auspicious. Must be. Anyway, today we are going to sing a song from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura, Bhajana Lalasa, song number 9, which is based on, inspired by śrī-rūpa-gosāi, verse number 8, Upadeshamrita of śrī-rūpa-gosvami. And after that, we can discuss a little bit the song, and we can discuss the verse of Upadeshamrita, which is inspiring this song. It's a verse which Rupa Gosvami calls the essence of instruction. The essence of all instruction in one verse. And after that, we will see if we have some show and tell. We have, I know we have one announcement. Chittakarani wants to say something. And let's see what else. Anyway, we'll see after. First, we can sing this song, which begins, Hari Hey, śrī-rūpa-gosāi, śrī-guru-rūpete, śikha, dila, mora, kāne, jāno, mora, kathā, nāmera, kāńgāla, rati, pā'be, nāma-gāne. O Lord Hari, śrī-rūpa-gosvami, in the form of the spiritual master, Srila Rupa Goswami, in the form of the spiritual master, gave these instructions to my ears. Quote, try to understand my words, O you who beg for the gift of the holy name, for by these instructions, you will develop attraction for chanting the holy name. And then he proceeds with the next 2 verses giving these instructions. Krishna nāma-rūpa guna-sucarita parama jātane kori rasanā-mānase karaho nijoga krama-vidhi anushari. Follow the scriptural rules and regulations and engage your tongue and mind in carefully chanting and remembering the holy names, divine forms, qualities, and wonderful pastimes of Lord Shri Krishna. Broje kori basa raga-nuga-hoya smarana kirtana koro e nikil kala koroho japan upadesha saradharo. Dwell in the holy land of Braja, cultivate spontaneous, loving devotion, raga nuga bhakti, and spend your every moment chanting and remembering the glories of Sri Hari. Just accept these as the essence of all instructions. And the last line, Ha Rupa Gosai Toya Kori Kobe Dibe Dine Brajabasa Ragatmika Tumi Tava Padanuga hoite dasher asha. O Rupa Gosai, when out of your causeless mercy will you enable this poor, wretched soul to reside in Vrindavan? You are a ragatmika devotee, an eternally liberated, intimate associate of Radha and Krishna. This humble servant of yours desires to become a follower at your lotus feet. All right, shall we try it? Nobody responded. I don't know.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Okay. Let's try it. We can always try. Hari Hari śrī-rūpa-gosāi śrī-guru-rūpete śiks dila, mora, kāne. śrī-rūpa-gosāi śrī-guru-rūpete śiks dila, mora, kāne. jāno, mora, kathā, nāmera, kāńgāla, rati, pā'be, nāma-gāne. jāno, mora, kathā, nāmera, kāńgāla, rati, pā'be, nāma-gāne. Krishna nāma-rūpa, guna-sucarita, parama jāno kori. Krishna nāma-rūpa, guna-sucarita, parama jāno kori. rasanā-mānase korahoni yoga, krama-vidhi anusari. rasanā-mānase korahoni yoga, krama-vidhi anusari. Vraje kori vasa raganuga hoya, smarana kirtana kori. Vraje kori vasa raganuga hoya, smarana kirtana kora. Enikila kala koraho japana, upadesha shara dado. Enikila kala koraho japana, upadesha shara dado. Rupa Gosai doya kori kave dibedine brajabhasa. Rupa Gosai doya kori kave dibedine brajabhasa. Ragatmika tumi tava padanuka, hoite dasera asha. Ragatmika tumi tava padanuka, hoite dasera asha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Hare Bol, go, Hare Bol, Nitai go, Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Hare Bol. Okay, so again, going a bit more through the translation with the Bengali. Hari 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 He. English language, if you call someone hey, it can be a little bit, or it can be very impolite. It depends on the context. But in the case of calling the Lord in Bengali language, it's quite proper. Which shows you there's different contexts for everything. Hari He. Śrī-rūpa-gosāi. O Lord Hari, śrī-rūpa-gosvami, in the form of the spiritual master, śrī-guru-rūpete, gave these instructions to my ears. Shiksha, dila, dila means gave, past tense. Shiksha in Sanskrit. Mora kāne, kāne in the ears. Karna in Sanskrit. And now he begins the instruction. Jāno, mora kathā, nāmera kāńgāla, rati, pā'be, nāma-gāne. Try to understand my words, jāno. You who beg for the gift of the holy name, kāńgāla, begging, or a person begging, a beggar of the name, rati, pā'be, you will gain, rati, nāma-gāne, from the holy name, rati, rati, you will gain attraction for chanting the holy name. So, so he's giving the consequence of following these instructions. He's saying, you want to be attached to the holy name? Well, here is how to do it. And then he begins the instruction. Krishna, nāma-rūpa, guna-sucarita, parama, jotane kori. Follow the scriptural rules and regulations and engage your tongue and mind in carefully chanting and remembering the holy names, divine forms, qualities, and wonderful pastimes of Lord Krishna. So, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura explains this, I believe, in more than one place. There's a kind of sequence beginning with the name of the Lord Krishna, Krishna's name. Then he reveals his form. Then he reveals his qualities. Then he reveals his charita, his pastimes. Or here we have sucarita, his very nice pastimes. There's a sequence to this. Parama jotane koriha. So having made this effort, jotane, or with effort, in effort, in Sanskrit, yatna. What kind of effort? Parama yatna. Make the topmost effort. Make the biggest effort that you can. In engaging with the name, the form, the qualities, the pastimes. And this will be explained. It's hearing, chanting, and remembering all of these. Rasanā-mānase. So with the tongue, rasana, and the mind, manase, or in the mind, koroho niyoga, krama-vidhi anusari. So krama-vidhi is translated here as scriptural rules and regulations. Krama means stepping or procedure, step by step. Anusari, following. Anu means following, sari, doing the following, being a follower. Koroho niyoga, engaging. Yoga means engaging, niyoga also engaging. Do this, koroho. Then the third verse is continuing the instruction. Braje kori basa. Raganuga hoya smarano kirtana koro. Dwell in the holy land of Braja. Koriya, basa, reside or be a resident. Where? Braje, in Braj. And cultivate spontaneous loving devotion. Raganuga. The word raganuga is raga plus anuga. And anuga again means following, and anu means following, ga means going. So following, going. Go along with raga, with feeling, or follow along with feeling, hoya, being in that practice, cultivates spontaneous devotional, loving devotion, and spend your every moment chanting and remembering the glories of Sri Hari. Nikhil Smaran. Okay, Smaran Kirtan Koro. Koro is doing, do it, it's the imperative. Do what? Smarana and Kirtana. Remembering and Kirtan and chanting. Nikhil Kal. All the time. Kala means time and Nikhila means perpetually, at every moment. Koroho Japana. Japana means japa. And koroho is, again, it's koro, but it's stretching out with one syllable to give us another, to give us the rhythm. Koroho japana. Do japana. Do japa. When should I do japa? Nikhila kala, all the time. Upadesha sara dharo. Dharo, and the apostrophe, I think, would mean dharo ya. Upadesha means instruction, means direction, so pointing direction. Pointing the direction is instruction. And sara means essence. Dharo ya, accepting these, holding these instructions, these essential, or this essential instruction. And then the last verse, Rupa Gosvami, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is praying to Rupa Gosvami. Ha, Rupa Gosai, doya kori kobe, dibe dine brajabasa. This is a rhetorical question. Kobe, when? Oh, Rupa Goswami, when? Out of your causeless mercy, doya, will you enable this poor, wretched soul, dine, to reside in Vrindavan, Brajabasa? Dibe, when will you give, Kobe Dibe, when will you give residence in Braja to this Dina, to this wretched one? You are a Ragatmika devotee. Ragatmika to me, Tava Pada Anuga. I am the follower of your feet. I'm following in your footsteps. Hoite dasher asha. The hope, the asha of this servant, dasher, will be, hoite, will happen, or happens as a result of following Srila Rupa Goswami. So, as I said, this is clearly inspired by text number 8 of the Nectar of Instruction. And let's see, maybe Dharma Gupta, if you can find online, Vedabase online, you could share the screen of text number 8 of Upadeshamrita. You think that would be possible?
Yes, Guru Maharaj, I will find it. I'll put it. I will share the screen. A few moments.
Meanwhile, we can look at the Sanskrit. Tannāma-rūpa charitani sukirtana nusmrityokramena rasanā-mānase niyoja Tishtan braje tadanuragi jananugami kalam nayit akilam ityupadesha saram. Upadesha saram. This is the sara, the upadesha, the sara of Upadesha. And so it's good to know, it's good to know what the essence of spiritual instruction is. Actually, much of our literature works this way. We have expansion and contraction. So, for example, we have the Shikshashtaka of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is such a contraction, the essence of instruction. Okay, here we go. Thank you. Nāma-rūpa charitari sukirtananu smrityo kramena rasanā-mānase niyojya. Tishtan raje tadanuragi jananugami kalam nayet akilam iti upadesha saram. Translation: the essence of all advice is that one should utilize one's full time. And Prabhupada adds, 24 hours a day. The Sanskrit is kalam akilam, all the time. And Prabhupada is often saying 24 hours a day. In nicely chanting and remembering the Lord's divine name, transcendental form, qualities, and eternal pastimes, thereby gradually engaging one's tongue and mind. In this way, one should reside in Braja, Goloka Vrindavan Dhama, and serve Krishna under the guidance of devotees. One should follow in the footsteps of the Lord's beloved devotees who are deeply attached to his devotional service. This last phrase, yeah, that's okay. You can roll down. This last phrase, one should follow in the footsteps of the Lord's beloved devotees who are deeply attached to his devotional service, is suggested, the word for that in Bhaktivinoda Thakur's song, with this word raga atmika. Raga atmika, literally we could say one whose self is raga, or one who is constituted, characterized, we can say also, by raga. One whose sort of core feature is raga. And raga means attachment, and obviously we're speaking about the good kind of attachment here, not the bad kind. The bad kind is attachment to material things, temporary conditions, all the things that bind us in this world. And you could say this is really the core of the teaching of Bhakti Yoga, is it's about transferring or transforming our sense of attachment. Attachment is always going to be there, but it's a question of where we place our attachment. So the process for doing this replacement of attachment, that's what's being given in this verse. And we're it's suggested that we have two tools, if you like, for doing this. One is our tongue and one is our mind. We have tongues and we have minds. And with our tongues and our minds, what can we do? We can engage in chanting and remembering the name, the form, the qualities, the activities. Nāma-rūpa charita adi. This is very typical. We find this in Sanskrit, especially when there's a list. You'll get the beginnings of a list and then adi, which means basically etc. Or as they say in Polish, i tak dalej, and on further, and that, and this further, i tak dalej. Und so weiter. Sukirtana anusmritya, the ongoing remembering. Kramena, step by step, or with steps. And then, let's see, there were some points in the purport that would be good for us, I think. Prabhupada reminds us that our minds are having so many impressions, and these impressions are not only from this life, but from previous lives. And he says something interesting. He says these impressions sometimes come in contact with one another and produce contradictory pictures. Contradictory pictures. We may wonder what that means, but if we think about it, we may appreciate contradiction in terms of attraction and repulsion. The same thing which attracts us one day repulses us the next day. And the easy example of this is water at a particular temperature. You know, cold water now in the cold winter here in cold Poland is not very attractive. The same temperature, the exact same temperature of water in what is now becoming warmer Delhi and is quickly going to become very warm in the later days of March and April. That same temperature of water becomes very pleasing. You want to go swimming in water, in nice, cool water. So these are contradictory pictures in the mind, if you like. Prabhupada speaks of the students of psychology. Students of psychology are aware, he says, of the mind's various psychological changes. I think we don't even have to be students of psychology. I think if we observe our own minds, we will recognize that this is the case. And Prabhupada quotes the Gita regarding the state of remembering and the critical state at the time of the end of this body, determining where we will go in the next life. So we want to prepare for that. Then he goes into śrī-rūpa-gosāmi's advice, Tishtan Vraje, one should live in Vrindavan or any part of Rajabhumi. So there's Vrindavan, the town area. There's Vraja, the extended area, which is mentioned here, is said to be 84 kroshas in area. You may well ask, what is the size of a krosha? And the answer is, it is 2 square miles. And if you're more familiar with kilometers than miles, a quick check on Google will tell you immediately how many square kilometers that is. What to do if we, or when we go to Vrindavan? Take shelter of an advanced devotee there. In this way, one should always think of Krishna and his pastimes. And then he quotes 2 verses from śrī-rūpa-gosvami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, famous verses, Krishnam smaran janang chasya preshtam nija samihitam. Tat tat kathā ratash chasau kuryat vasam raje sada. A devotee should always reside in the transcendental realm. We lost the shared screen. Coming back now. Is it possible to scroll a bit down? Yeah. And a little further. Yeah, good. Perfect. Perfect. Whoops. Good. Krishna smaran janang chasya. A devotee should always reside in the transcendental realm of Vraja and always engage in Krishna smaran janang chasya preshtam. The remembrance of Sri Krishna and his beloved associates. By following in the footsteps of such associates and by entering under their eternal guidance, one can acquire an intense desire to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sometimes I wonder if Srila Rupa Gosvami could anticipate the number of devotees there are all over the world today. And if he would mean literally all the devotees should lock up their apartments and just throw away the key and come to Vrindavan and live in Vrindavan, whether he would say, yes, please, everyone come, or if he would say, well, better you stay where you are and meditate on Vrindavan. Or would he say, come and visit? Srila Prabhupada encouraged devotees to visit Vrindavan. And therefore, he established his Krishna Balaram Mandir, specific, with a guest house. At that time, the guest house was, it was kind of luxury for in Vrindavan. Now the accommodation of the guest houses, I mean, it's quite okay, but it's simple. But his idea was for people from the West, from outside of India, for us who are not accustomed to such simple living, he wanted to accommodate them. He said, come and spend time in Vrindavan. Then Rupa Goswami goes on to say, Seva sadhaka rupena siddha rupena cha atrahi tat bhavat lipsuna karya raja loka anusarataha. In the transcendental realm of Raja Loka, one should serve the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna. Krishna is not directly mentioned in the verse, but he's implied. with a feeling similar to that of his associates. Anusarita, Rajaloka Anusarita. And one should place himself under the direct guidance of a particular associate of Krishna and follow in his footsteps. Tat-bhava lipsuna is, that would be with a similar feeling. Tat-bhava. Lipsuna, with a similar feeling. This method is applicable both in the stage of sadhana, so that's sadhaka-rūpena, with the form of a sadhaka, literally. Spiritual practice is executed while in the stage of bondage, and in the stage of sadhya, God realization, when one is a siddha purusha, or a spiritually perfect soul. Siddha rupena. The word sadhya means that which is to be obtained, that which you are aiming for by sadhana, by some procedure. Sadhana means some procedure by which you are gaining sadhya. And then gaining that sadhya, we become siddha. So it's interesting that Rupa Gosvami says, in both cases, not that after you reach perfection, then you stop. In both cases, seva, service, must be there. And then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura elaborates on how this is to be understood. And one way he does this, going to the next paragraph that starts in the neophyte stage, he describes several stages. And the word for stage or level is dasha. So first we have Shravana Dasha, the stage of hearing. And of course, that's drawing from Rupa Goswami's verse number 8. We should be engaged in nāma-rūpa charita adi, sukirtananu, and so on. Then what happens? Constantly hearing the name, form, qualities, pastimes. Then what happens? Then what happens is varana dasha. Now this is interesting. It's all interesting. What struck me earlier today as I read this is varana as acceptance. This may be taken, I'm sure, different ways, but at least a broad way we can take it is that initially, as we are hearing about Krishna, his names, forms, qualities, and pastimes, surely there will be some doubts. Just the idea that Krishna and his name are non-different. Mean. We try to grasp it with our minds. And then so many things in Krishna's pastimes we find very difficult sometimes to really appreciate. And Varana Dasha, my understanding is this is a level where one kind of says to oneself, okay, I just accept this is how it is. I may not grasp it, I may not comprehend it, but let me accept it. And this reminds me of I'm forgetting who it was, and I'm forgetting what it was specifically. They asked Srila Prabhupada, a devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, I think it was about the moon producing nectar, soma, how to understand this. And Srila Prabhupada had the devotee simply repeat after him 3 times the same statement. The moon produces nectar. And it was a lady disciple, and she did. She repeated after Prabhupada 3 times. And then Prabhupada said, now do you understand? And she said, yes, I understand. So something we don't really appreciate in our Western mentality is there's a way of comprehending something by simply accepting it from authority and then repeating it. It becomes a reality by that process. It's quite mystical. Okay. Anyway, he goes on with more levels, going up to meditation, anusmriti, ongoing remembering. By uninterrupted and unceasing anusmriti, one enters the stage of samadhi, or spiritual trance. He refers to smarana dasha, which may be the same as anusmriti. It's not quite clear, but it's okay. And then the final stage he refers to, this time he can perfectly and clearly understand one's eternal relationship with Krishna. That is called sampati dasha, the perfection of life. Does anyone want to reach the perfection of life? Silence. Hare Krishna.
Looks very difficult.
Well, it may be difficult, but what else is there to do? What else is there to do? Okay.
Follow your instruction, Gurudev.
Hare Krishna. Okay, we can go back to not sharing the screen, I think. And it's nice to see you all again. And nice to see those of you who have joined us a bit later, which is fine. I wanted to say in general also, please everyone feel free. Sometimes you may have other things to do on Saturday at this time. Don't worry, I'm not going to, feel offended if you're not there. This is, we're in the 21st century. And we all have, so many things that we are needing to do or wanting to do, and that's okay. And also recordings are being made, so you can also listen and watch at another time. That's fine. And at the same time, I want to say I'm always happy to see all of you when you do join. It's very nice. Hare Krishna. So, what do we have? Chitrakarani, are you there? Chitrakarani. Hare Krishna, you wanted to say something to us today. You sent me a message.
Oh, yes. I would like to ask help from all of you, from my God brothers and God sisters, because we are doing Sankirtan in Turkey. Turkey is a Muslim country, and we have many difficulties in Sankirtan. How? First of all, we don't have many books already translated into English. And other than that, because it's a Muslim country, and Turkey, we can't say a really country with a democracy. So it's not like European countries where you can walk singing Hare Krishna, and distributing books. This is just a dream. This is not possible. So as Turkish devotees, we always try to invent, create ways to distribute the books of Srila Prabhupada. And just recently, Food for Life has been established in Turkey. It's a very recent process. And this is a big development. And so the Prasadam distribution started. And to support this Prasadam distribution, we really need to sell books. But how? We can't go out. So I will give you an address of BBT of Turkey. So if you can, if you order one Bhagavad Gita, and it will be very cheap for you because you're in Europe, it will be only €5 for you. But actually the value of this book is like €30. It is thick, very nicely printed. And just with €5, you can really support the Turkish devotees, the Turkish Sanga in Turkey, because this money will support for Food for Life, which is just recently established. So this is my request, and I will just write the website here. And it's enough that you go to this website and you order the book, and it is only €5. But the book wouldn't come to Europe, of course, otherwise it will cost a lot. So the book will go to Turkey, and I will give one Bhagavad Gita to another person with your name. So this is the solution that I came with. So I don't know, do you have any questions from anybody, from any God siblings? Because in Turkey, we really try to invent ways to distribute the books. Otherwise, we really can't go to the street or to the shops to sell the books. We should be always underground.
Yeah. Maybe you could tell a little more about the Turkish yatra. What's happening there?
Yes. Turkish yatra is under the blessings of Śrī-rūpa-gosāi Swami and Radha Krishna Prabhu. I can say that Śrī-rūpa-gosāi Swami really gives a lot of mercy to this Sangha, because they are so few, it's like 10 or 11 or 12 devotees, but they are so special, like all the devotees are special, but these devotees in Turkish yatra, they are so pure, so sweet, and mostly they don't know English so much. But Śrī-rūpa-gosāi Swami gives a lot of blessing to these devotees, and he personally comes to Istanbul to visit them. And when Śrī-rūpa-gosāi Swami is in Istanbul, in Turkey, he's not like when you can meet him in Italy. He's a guru, but when he's in Turkey with this Turkish little group, he's like a grandfather, so affectionate, so soft with them. And we all know that Śrī-rūpa-gosāi Swami general mood. So they are very special devotees, and these devotees has magical powers. because although they don't have many books translated, also there are not so many facilities because of no democracy, Islamic country. The Gauranga Yoga is under the roof of the yoga studio, are creating new devotees. Shwaram Swami is giving new initiation. Radha Krishna Prabhu of GBC, every week we have a meeting with him, and he's pushing us to distribute more books, even in a difficult situation. And before the COVID, a lot of sannyasis were visiting Turkey and giving lessons. And so they create Ayurvedic studio, Food for Life is now started. So they are doing all the facilities of ISKCON. It's like a small ISKCON working very nicely. It is because of the dedication of Nrsimha Krishna Prabhu, His Grace Nrsimha Krishna Prabhu, who is really completely dedicated himself to preaching to Bhakti Yoga with his respected dear wife, Krishna Mala Devidasi. So this is what comes to my mind in the first hand.
Okay, thank you. And you have also initiated, I mean to say, you've started a center in your city.
Yes.
What is the city's name?
Antalya.
Antalya, yeah. And things are happening there now also, isn't it?
Actually, things were very nice. We have in Antalya, we guessed Urmila Devidasi, Asit Krishna Maharaj, Shwaram Swami came to Istanbul, and many devotees from Hungary came visit. They were preaching, but when the COVID came, of course, they are not traveling now. Nobody's traveling at the moment, and so the Antalya group, Ankara group, and Istanbul group, they are all connected on the Zoom together. So everybody became one, and it became very auspicious. It became very nice. Suddenly, everybody is working for one group, and so I can say that this COVID bring very nice results for the Sanga. It became so powerful, it became so rich, and so distribution of books is going on on Instagram, on Facebook, and year to year. So the devotees in Europe are very, very fortunate because they have all the facilities to make book distribution. The books are already translated into their language, and there's complete freedom. That's a big advantage. When you don't have this freedom, like in China, then you should be really creative.
Yes. Okay. So what do you think, everyone? Is this something you could do to help the Turkish Yatra to sponsor one Bhagavad Gita?
Maybe it would be nice to maybe send some payment details or something to the chat so everyone knows, like some PayPal address or some.
Yes, thank you so much for asking. I will, because I was speaking, I couldn't pause. I will do it now. Thank you so much. Thank you. And now there is a big inflation in Turkey. The Turkish money lost a lot of value. So now it's almost like 1 euro is 10 Turkish liras. So this huge, thick, good printing Bhagavad Gita is now 5 euro, and this is really, so with your money, you can really create a big difference. It's like you buy 5 Bhagavad Gita.
Okay, good. Thank you. Turkish Yatra Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
I'm seeing Kaveri together with Rati Krishna. Are you there just behind the curtain, so to say? Do you want to do your performance?
Yes, we're kind of ready.
Okay. Kind of ready. Is it the two of you only, or is there someone else involved?
No, we did the thing for the two of us only. No, we didn't have much time.
Right. Okay.
So we made this inspired by Gurudev, invitation to do this, suggested by him. We didn't practice that much, but we hope you like it.
Did you want to send the script to the?
Oh yeah, we can send the script to all of you so you can read it. Yeah, that's good. Okay.
Okay. A young couple sees a travel agency called Easy Journey to Other Planets. Tired of everything and eager for adventure, they enter the shop to find out more. Oh my God, I'm so bored of everything.
Everything's so
And I'm so tired.
Yeah, same. I'm tired of being tired. Wait, what's that over there? Easy Journey to Other Planets? Looks like a travel agency.
Oh, yeah. I read a meme about this.
Oh.
Rich people stuff.
Fancy.
You can do space tourism now.
Mhm.
Oh my God. Can you imagine the selfies I could post? My Instagram will finally get certified. Ka-ching! We need this. We're going in.
Honestly, they got me at Easy Journey. I haven't had an easy journey like, I don't know, ever. I was born 2 months early. Can you believe that? Let's go in. Hello. We want to go to space.
Hello?
Hi.
Anyone
Hello?
here? No? Oh, look, here's a brochure. Let's see what we have here.
Yeah.
Okay, they have 2 options.
Cool.
Option 1 is the yogic bundle.
Mhm.
Includes a yoga mat, incense, oracle cards of the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali.
What?
Whoever that is, I don't know. Let's see what else. A picture of the presiding deity of the planet of your destination.
What?
I don't know what that means.
Wait, what's that in the fine print?
The fine print, disclosure. Let's see here. You access this by the mystic yogic process. It takes 90 years to perfect.
What?
We know a guy who knows a guy in the Himalayas that might have done it.
Cool.
Easy
cool.
peasy.
Next.
Okay, let's see. Option 2. Option 2 says here, the mantra method. Chant this mantra for free.
Free. I like free. Let's see. Okay, here's the mantra. I got this. Wait. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare.
I know this. I follow, Janavi on Instagram.
Me too. I knew
this.
Like,
it sounds familiar, right?
Yeah,
We know this.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is super cool. Okay, so that's it. We chant this and
Seems like it. Doesn't say anything else.
all right,
Yeah.
cool, awesome. I'm hungry. Are you hungry?
Yeah, sure.
Well, let's get something to eat.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Let's go. Bye. Thank you. Namaste.
Nobody's here. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see. This is kind of weird, right?
Is it? It makes more sense than paying 55 millions to get his face.
Millions?
USD.
What's wrong with rich people? They want to own everything. They want to own the lakes. They want to own the forest.
Yeah.
And now they want space.
Yeah.
Plus, they have the best selfies.
Yes,
Selfies
they
are so expensive. The good
Yes,
ones.
they are, but that's not the point, Ryan.
Hmm?
Listen, we are always tired.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter where we go. We're always exhausted. You can pretend you're not for your Instagram pics, but I know you are.
Ouch. You hurt my Instagram feelings.
Yeah, that was rude, sorry.
But tired of what?
Well, that's the point. Maybe we're just tired of trying so hard all the time, trying to get the next thing that will make us happy or feel something, anything. I know I am.
Oh, honey, I want you to know that if the ship crashes into a galactic glacier, I will share my wooden raft with you. I'm no Rose.
Ryan, we're not going to space.
Wait, what?
No, and seriously, Titanic, and why am I Jack anyway?
You're the artist, that's why.
Look, there's an address here, Hare Krishna Temple. They have a Sunday feast. That's today. Want to go? It's only 50 minutes away.
I want to go to Mars.
They have a free vegetarian meal.
Oh, well, that's it. Ground control to Major Tom.
Prepare to landing at the Hare Krishna Temple in 3, 2, 1.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Ta-da!
Bravo.
Thank
That
you.
was
Thank
fun.
you.
I think you have a future. You can go on tour soon. We should have we should have more sketches like this.
By others, you mean?
By others, by yourselves. No, I think you're good for more. There's, the whole series of stories from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, Upakyan Upadesh. It's been translated, at least part of it, into English. You can probably find it online. And Upakyan means little stories, Upadesh, instructions. So he used to tell these little stories in his preaching. And some of them Prabhupada would also tell. So the scholar and the boatman, I think, is one. And, the fish out of water, all these are, I think, Upakyan Upadesh. Some of them are a bit obscure because they're sort of culturally, dependent, Indian or sometimes Bengali culture. But I think they could all be developed with a bit of creativity. So, yeah, if you want to think about that, that could be nice. So I hope others of you could follow. I know I'm always a little worried. Some of you, English is quite a challenge. For some of you, it's kind of an outer space language, but I hope you could follow some way. And the text is there can be downloaded, right? Okay, very good. What else? I wasn't sure, I don't mean to embarrass, but Vrajali Lavati, you wanted to say something today, wasn't it? Whoops. Is Vrajali Lavati there?
Yes, I'm here. Guru Maharaj, Hare Krishna to all.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, I was thinking about Chitrakaruni's question on the last Sanga.
Oh, yes.
So you told us to think about the possible answer of
Yes.
Chaitanya Charitamrita and what inspired us. So I had just two thoughts.
Mhm.
Maybe somebody else wants to tell it first. I don't know.
Please go ahead.
Okay. So I was thinking, how can what inspire us as women in Chaitanya Charitamrita? First of all, I'm inspired by the reason why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. So he wanted to taste the love Srimati Radharani has for Krishna. And this is something that can inspire us all, special, incomparable surrender and love of Radharani towards Krishna. That could lead us to remember that in Bhagavad Gita 10:34, Krishna cites 7 opulences which are considered feminine. Among women, I'm fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience. So we should all strive to appreciate these opulences. Also, what inspires me is that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, at a very young age, renunciate this world. So I found the speech that Srila Prabhupada said 1968 in Montreal. He said, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this is this quote, this is one of the brilliant examples of opulence that he renounced his so happy family life, not disturbing life, and at a very young age when everyone is after enjoying family life. So it is not a great opulence, very great opulence. Young man having good mother, good wife, good home, good reputation, good following, good parentage, beauty, everything, but he renounced. End of quote. So I was thinking that women in this age also can have opulence, good family, good home, nice things, great opportunities also, a job, some kind of reputation. And this quote reminds us that the renunciation is a positive thing in spiritual life. And although we cannot take this great renunciated life as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did, we can renounce what we have bit by bit, take small steps. For example, we can renunciate some conceptions in life, some attachments, going from small attachments to the bigger attachments. In our everyday life, we can renunciate some attachments to things. And as you said today, we should have the replacement of this attachment through tongue and mind. So we can remember the name, form, activities, Lord Shri Krishna. This was my small contribution to the answer. I don't know, maybe somebody will have more inspiration, more to say from Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Oh, very nice. Nice points. Thank you. Yeah, I was also thinking about Chitrakarni's question. How can women relate to the life of Lord Chaitanya? And it occurred to me that Mahaprabhu is showing the quality of care. And his care is for everyone, and everyone is attracted to him because of his care. And care in particular, I think of as quality of motherhood. So even though he's in a male, he is in some sense, because as it's also said in the Gita, the Lord is the father and the mother of all living beings. So he is performing that function, and to perform that function, he renounces, as you said, his family. He had everything that he could possibly want. He gave it all up, showing the renunciation as an opulence. so that he could spread the holy name, and in this around everywhere. And in this way, he was caring for the world. He was giving shelter to the whole world. And in this way, he was showing the highest level of ethics. And I've maybe talked about this here, but in my book on cows, I talk about the ethics of care, which is inspired specifically by the model of the mother caring for the child. So this is what I was thinking of. Kaveri and Rati, you have your hand up.
Thank you, Gurudev. I also wrote some notes about Chitrakarani's question, and some are notes of hope. And there are a few, but I hope I can do it. So the first thing, some context, and also just thinking about this question, I thought that when I approached the CC, I was more prepared and more used to listen, or having this idea of being rejected, or you're gonna be aside, you're gonna be away, you're not gonna be allowed, and this doesn't take away the validity of her question, but on the contrary, it made me reflect on how can we present scriptures in a sensitive way so more people can feel connected, that this is also for you. So maybe that's something we can improve, because Krishna relates to everybody. Like you say, he cares for everybody. So if we're not feeling that, or if we're not able to convey it, then we can improve that. We can read about, this is another one, we can read about the times of Lord Chaitanya, but we also know how Srila Prabhupada implemented those teachings, including women in them very much. I think also the strict principle of purity has been crucial also for Srila Prabhupada to break from other false gurus that were a lot at that time. And at the same time, he adapted many things for women. But if you look back in the past, being so chaste, being so pure is what really distinguished him, and also in other ways, from others gurus that were at the same time. On a personal level, this is personal, it helped me understand Guru. Not the Guru that has been different before taking sannyas and after, but something changed and something became official, and we learned how to serve and what he needs. I learned how to serve and what he needs from me as a sannyasi, especially in more traditional places. Eyes are on him. It's not how usually maybe we do things in the West, but when serving, it's not about me. And the Chaitanya Charitamrita is placed on a recent time, Kali Yuga, and people will criticize you. And also there's a prominent tendency to cheat. So being strict was a must and is a must to be successful. And it's relevant even today. It's a real context, especially in India, your reputation can be ruined. So I think Lord Chaitanya was very strict also because of that. And those following him are also, like Gurudev said, caring for this message and caring for people to pass it on. The principle of purity is relevant for all. Something is pure, something pure is something without a mixture. You don't do something that is good for you one day and then something that is bad for you the next day. You're pure is solid. The principle of purity is achievable and desirable for men, women, non-binary genders, anybody. The archetype of women is a female desperate to get validation from men, right? But in bhakti, you don't put your faith in men, as in a possessive relationship. We have kāńgāla, for example, as that. For Lord Chaitanya, it meant to stay away from women, in his ashram meant to be like that. For you, can be something else. Although externally he, Lord Chaitanya, might seem unapproachable for women, his feelings are the most relatable for all devotees. Perhaps not his private feelings, but his external endeavor for expanding the movement. We perhaps are disconnected from that. But there are many women who still remember those times, who remember the time of being so active in the Sankirtan movement and spreading the message of Lord Chaitanya. And here are my notes of hope. This is my favorite. We have not experienced yet the traveling parties of female gurus, where we could take part and guard the chastity of them while expanding the Sankirtan movement. But we can experience it with female friends and sangas created for us by women, for women. The spirit is the same. We keep purity. The names that I could remember that have some sanga like this is Rukmini Mataji, Shyamarani, Jadurani Didi, Murti in Argentina. I do remember being around her, and it was like it was like a little party. We were always taking care of her. Who's talking with her? We should go with her. And I have also my own a small group of women creative devotees that we create a very solid bond, and it's very inspiring. A few more. Nothing says we can have female Sankirtan parties, just like back then. Maharam, Rati Vega, Sarvakanti, all top Sankirtan devotees, all of them. So maybe it's not in the body that you can connect, but in the activity that you find the connection, the execution of the Sankirtan movement itself. I thought also without a true connection, Janava Mata wouldn't have become the leader that she was. So connection can be there. She wasn't just a Mataji hanging in the back. She was an upfront lady. She was a leader in our movement. So this is another hopeful thing. We might not know much about her, Janava Devi. So maybe with the writing and the reading of books of women in the movement, we can relate more, feel connected to the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya, and not feel invisible, because we were there. We have always been there. So, and lucky for us, there has been some recent publications about women in the movement. I think that could also make the connection. Maybe we need more research and more books that we also feel included. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Lots of points you've made, and all nice points. And the theme of hope, I think, is very nice to keep. And I think we have a lot of very qualified ladies in our movement who are making a difference, as you've said. You've mentioned some of them, some of my god sisters. It's nice you mentioned Murti Mataji. She's a god sister of mine in Argentina. I think she's originally from Venezuela, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, she's a real pillar of the yatra. Okay, Ramananda Gopal, you have your hand up.
Yes, sorry. I know this, how to say, a girl theme, and I'm just make a short comment. Sorry that I interrupt. I ask all our mothers to please give me blessings. I just came since Chaitanya Charitamrita is definitely my most, is how to say, but the book what attracts me the most to read. And so I was thinking, because the Ramayana for many Western women who grew up in Western culture, the Ramayana or Lord Ram has kind of a bitter taste because of the outcoming in the end with Mother Sita. And so I remember the comments Madhavananda Prabhu is always stressing that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he took sannyas to pay back the gopis in Vrindavan. So when Krishna left Vrindavan, he kind of took the lives of the inhabitants of Vrindavan, especially of the gopis in Vrindavan. And when he came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he kind of gave up his life, he gave up his opulence. And as we know, taking sannyas is something kind of, you give up your life, and therefore also the saffron colors. So when he gave up his life, he basically paid back the gopis in Vrindavan, and this I think is also a sign to pay back all the for all motherhood, for all womanhood, what you also said. Sorry, that was just my thought. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. No, that's very nice. I mean, all these points that you're all bringing up are such that we could consider them at length. I see two comments in our chat. Divyambara, you've made a comment, also Vrindapati. Divyambara, do you want to come on and elaborate on this?
Yes, Guru Maharaj, I'm sorry I cannot be on camera right now. But yes, I mean, I think it's important to consider the cultural aspects of the time and place where Lord Chaitanya appeared. And also when Chitrakarani was speaking, I was thinking, yeah, we present Krishna consciousness, but we also respect the local culture. And so if Lord Chaitanya was to appear today in the United States, I'm sure he would be preaching in a very different way, because he would, like, Lord Chaitanya was very much aware of the social issues at the time. And we see this all over the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So I'm thinking, how would Lord Chaitanya present Krishna consciousness today all over the world? But I'm just so accustomed to the social issues in the United States, the racial issues, the women's issues, this, that. So how would he present Krishna consciousness to make everybody feel included?
Yeah, maybe he would be like Raghunath Kapo and Kaustuba. Who knows? Yeah, thank you for bringing this up, Divyambara. Yeah, I mean, the social issues in America, that's, devotees are talking a lot about what's going on in America. The tensions are there. Vrindapati, do you want to speak your point, an interesting point, which is related also to cultural conditions?
Well, I thought I largely kind of put the points there, but if you want me to elaborate, I just felt it was very interesting how in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, well, later than the Chaitanya Charitamrita, during colonial India, we see a lot of commentary by the British about women who would perform the act of self-emulsion or basically perform sati, which means to enter into the funeral pyre of their husband, which is a general practice not found in, broadly speaking, in all of India. It was definitely on the Indo-Gangetic plain we see these practices happening, perhaps in Rajasthan and some places like that, where higher caste women would enter into the fire at the demise of her husbands. But what was very interesting is that in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, as a as an original source hagiography of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we learn that neither his mother and neither does his wife perform this act or commit this act of sati. And I thought that was very interesting to mention, because there is this kind of common misunderstanding that women were forced, that later they were forced, but that all women, were being, thrown into the fire after their husbands had passed away. And it was nothing like that. We can see that here, a very high caste woman, Sachi Mata, is, is still alive and still very much devoted to her bhakti and her Krishna consciousness, along with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's wife after his accepting of sannyas. And then, so that was an interesting point. And the next point that I raised was that we have a huge shift in caste consciousness. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes, he accepts Haridas Thakur, who's born in a Dalit, I think Muslim family, who is not considered to be a part of any of the 4 varnas or ashrams. And there's a huge kind of acceptance of people breaking traditional classic rules of sannyas, where the sannyasis has this austere persona, and here is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dancing and feasting. And so we have a very, very different kind of paradigm shift, in thinking processes and things with society just in general. So those are just my observations after thinking about the question that I can't remember the name of our god sister, but sorry, raised.
Kshetra.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm still learning everybody's names and so on.
No, that's all right.
But thank you very much.
This, by the way, is Vrindapati from living in the London area. I don't know exactly where, but yeah, basically raised in the UK. So thank you for joining us. Yeah, these are all, it's an interesting topic. Okay, Anandamayi also.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, and everyone.
Hare Krishna.
I appreciate every point. I was thinking generally about these points also you all mentioned. And for the question of this Mataji, Chitrakaran, yes? I remember when Guru Maharaj, you wanted to give an initiation, you asked your disciples to read all books. So also Chaitanya Charitamrita. So this is the instruction of Guru, first of all, for all devotees, not only for male devotees. So as it is instruction, then there is follow the practical thing. So I was reading in 1997 Chaitanya Charitamrita, and I stuck in Adilila because it was amazing for me, this book. So I was reading again and again this book, and the visions came to me by this reading because I was so absorbing. I was chanting so much and reading, and that was my habit. And so Lord Chaitanya is amazing in his book, and he is giving the whole Chaitanya Charitamrita is actually about Vaishnava etiquette. So this is the basic, I think, for all of us to be a Vaishnava and act in a Vaishnava etiquette on this platform. So this is the idea, to to move to the point of being a Vaishnava, not on the point of being a woman. That was my reflection on this whole situation.
Yeah, so it's for everyone, men and women, and as is said by Krishna Kaviraj in beginning of chapter 7, the Panchatattva were plundering. Actually, I have it here. Patra bichar nahi stanastan jay jaha pai taha kore premadan. In distributing love of Godhead, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates did not consider who was a fit candidate and who was not, nor where such distribution should or should not take place. They made no conditions. Wherever they got the opportunity, the members of the Panchatattva distributed love of Godhead. And it strikes me that I think no other in the modern time comprehended this sense of the spirit of the Panchatattva as Srila Prabhupada did. Because none of Srila Prabhupada's godbrothers, before Srila Prabhupada, later they had the idea, but before, none could imagine preaching to the people that Srila Prabhupada was preaching and whatnot, hippies and whatnot. Let's see, I think Dira Lalita wanted to say something.
I wanted to say something, well, only if there is time, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah, we're just having a discussion today.
And well, it came to me when Teacher Karuni was asking that question, how does the woman relate to Chaitanya Charitamrita, that it appears to be most of it for teachings of how to become a renunciate, and it's sort of male-related a book. But then I was thinking, just after the last Saturday, after our meeting, I was thinking about it, and I was thinking of renunciation. And Lord Chaitanya, he appeared in the mode of Srimati Radharani. And if we read about Srimati Radharani, she's the great renunciant. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it properly in English, because even though externally in Krishna's pastimes, she was being married in order to be protected from Kamsa. She had to be married to a person that she doesn't love. And she goes along about all these external situation that she's put in. But her heart and her mind is with Krishna all the time. So for me, that's the real renunciation, that she is in the middle of situations she doesn't want to be in, but she is with Krishna. So that's one thing that's very strong, relating to, speaking of female. And the second thing was, it came to me that us females in this world appear to be sort of more emotional and show our emotions more than males. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya expresses his emotions absolutely through the roof in his meditation on Krishna. But actually, that's manifestation of Srimati Radharani's love for Krishna. I mean, that's my understanding. And that it couldn't be more emotional than that. And the third thing is a little bit related to what Guru Maharaj said. Lord Chaitanya cares. Actually, I could see him also as a mother, because he appeared in this planet to distribute a love for God. And what mother does, she also distributes her love to her children, like unconditionally. And that's another sort of female aspect or emotion that us females can relate to. That was what I wanted to say.
Okay, nice points. Thank you. Yeah. Yes, I do want to encourage everyone, read Chaitanya Charitamrita. If you've read already, you can read again. If you haven't read, you can read. If you've read part, you can read. So I'm talking about reading Chaitanya Charitamrita. We should do so right now a little bit. And because Lord Chaitanya's appearance is coming up, I thought we should read from Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, chapter 13, the advent of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And, you know, it's hard to decide where to start because you open up, every page is Amrita. But one thing about the beginning of this chapter is it's an overview, it's a summary. And it's again, this point about condensing and getting the essentials of our tradition within a compact form. But let's start with verse number 1, and then we may jump because this is a Sanskrit verse in which Krishnadas, like in the beginning of every chapter, he's begging for blessings or he's giving benediction or both. So this verse says, Sa prasidatu Chaitanya devo yasya prasadata ta lila varnane yogya sadya syat adamo api ayam. I wish the grace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by whose mercy even one who has fallen can describe the pastimes of the Lord. And of course, that's what he wants to do, and therefore he is making this invocation. And then he goes through several verses summarizing the pastimes, telling how many years Lord Chaitanya was in different places. The first half of his life in Navadvip, the second half, he says, in Jagannath Puri, although actually the first 6 years of Jagannath Puri, he was not in Jagannath Puri. I think he's expressing a kind of simple symmetry there. But then he gives more detail. And then he describes briefly his birth, starting with let's start with verse 19. This is again a Sanskrit verse. Sarva satguna purnam tang Shri Krishna Chaitanya avatirna Krishna nāma-gāne. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the full moon evening in the month of Phalguna. an auspicious time, full of auspicious symptoms, when Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advented himself with the chanting of the holy name Hare Krishna. So it's avatirna, he descended, he came, Krishna nāma-gāne, together with the names of Krishna. And then he goes on to explain, this is his usual format in Chaitanya Charitamrita. There will be a Sanskrit verse, and then there will be explanation, translation, possibly you can say, and explanation in Bengali, sometimes several verses. So, Palguna Purnima Shanjai Prabhur Janmodoi She Kale Daiva Joge Chandra Grahan Hoy. On the full moon evening of the month of Palgun, when the Lord took birth, coincidentally, there was also a lunar eclipse. In jubilation, everyone was chanting the holy name of the Lord, Hari, Hari. And Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then appeared, after first causing the appearance of the holy name. Now, someone could be doubtful that why is it said that he brought the holy name with him if people were already chanting the holy name when he appeared? So yes, the holy name was there, it was known, and on special occasions, such as during a lunar eclipse, which was generally considered inauspicious, although eclipses can be either inauspicious or auspicious, depending on various conditions and for various purposes. Generally, they are not chanting the holy name. And then Lord Chaitanya appears while people are chanting Hari, Hari, making a point. He's making a point by this. He is, in effect, appearing with the holy name and giving the message, excuse me, that this is going to be his message, to chant the holy name. At his birth, in his childhood, and in his early and later boyhood, as well as in his youth, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, under different pleas, induced people to chant the holy name of Hari, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And this will come up so many times in Chaitanya Charitamrita, how much Mahaprabhu was encouraging people to chant, that this was, he himself embodied, he himself was the holy name. Sometimes it's said, and this goes back to the theme of what does Chaitanya Charitamrita have for women? Sometimes it's said that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embodied both masculine and feminine principles, and therefore one can speak of his androgyny. Androgyny means sort of simultaneous male and female aspects. For what that's worth, he's simultaneously both and he's appearing in a male body, because I thought about this also. If the Lord had appeared in a female body, in the circumstances, in the cultural context in which he lived, it would not have been possible for him to do what he did, to preach. It would not have been possible. And even today, it's women find it challenging, for various cultural reasons. But especially in India in the early 16th century, not possible. So he's appearing as Mahaprabhu. In his childhood, when the Lord was crying, he would stop immediately upon hearing the holy names Krishna and Hari. All the friendly ladies who came to see the child would chant the holy names, Hari, Hari, as soon as the child would cry. Incidentally, this reminds me, there's a devotee in Mumbai, Hari Parshad Prabhu, a very learned scholar devotee I've come to know over some recent years. And I met his family, his wife and his son, small son. And Hari Parshad said that he found that the same was true with his son, that his son would cry if they would not chant the holy names. So they found themselves needing to chant a lot in order to keep him peaceful. When all the ladies saw this fun, they enjoyed laughing and called the Lord Gaurahari. From then on, Gaurahari became another of his names. So it was the neighbor ladies who gave this name, Gaurahari, Gaurahari, Gaurahari. And the name stuck. It's quite common in India, I believe, that one may have so many nicknames given by different family members. This may be something that's more common in more traditional cultures than where I grew up in the Wild West. To the date of Hatte Kari, the beginning of his education, and his age from the end of his childhood until he married is called Poganda. After his marriage, his youth began, and in his youth, he introduced everyone to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra anywhere and everywhere. Again, this reminder of what he would do. And then it goes on with more summary. One of the themes of this chapter, which is pointed out by Sutapa Prabhu from London, is this greatness and sweetness, the principles of Aishvarya and Madhurya combined. So there's all the sweetness of baby Gaurahari being relished as we read, and also by the residents, the neighbors. Sita Thakurani comes, and they all appreciate. And there is opulence. There's a sense that this is no ordinary child. The devatas appear in hidden forms. The Lord himself leaves indications sometimes that he is actually the Lord. And so there's this sweet mix of opulence and sweetness. And we can say it's predominated by sweetness, but we're always reminded of who is Lord Chaitanya as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because in the first 12 chapters of Adi Lila, this has been emphasized again and again by Krishnadas Kaviraj. Okay, our time is up for today. In case you're interested, I have been scheduled to give a 20-minute talk on Thursday afternoon for the Shida Mayapur Gaur Purnima festival. They're having a several-day festivities, and they've asked different devotees to speak on different subjects, each for 20 minutes. So it's going to be, as far as as I can tell, it's going to be at 3:30 in the afternoon on European time, 8 o'clock Indian time. Where to find that? I guess if you look probably if you look for Mayapur TV, you will find. So I'm going to speak. They gave me 3 topics, options, and I've chosen the option to speak about the glories of Sri Mayapur Dham. So I want to wish you all a wonderful week of chanting Hare Krishna and a-nāma-rūpa charitaris sukirtananu smritya krama-vidhi rasanā-mānase niyojya. Yes, you might like to review that verse of Nectar of Instruction. In case you're wondering what to do this week, just read verse number 8 of Nectar of Instruction and you will be reminded what to do. Is that all right?
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining. Have a nice week. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Premanande Hari.
Hari Bol.
Guru Maharaj ki
Jai.
Hare
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
All glories to assembled devotees.